What was I saying? I'm going to show you some examples of some great ASMR. Let's look at these. I've got some great examples for you. Let's see if you can listen to these sounds. Do you know what ASMR is? It's pleasing sounds. I forget what the letters are. I'll show you that. I'll look it up while you're listening. Hold on, let me get my... Do you hear that? Are those sounds pleasing to you? Wow. Ooh. That one tickled my eardrums. This video is from... This is from Anna Astor, ASMR. Look her up, give her a shout out. There we go. Can you believe that? Let me get that sound down. Ooh, like those deep ones. Like that. Oh, that's a nice one right there. Oh, you hear that bass? If you have headphones on, it's better with headphones. That's amazing. You have to have a really good microphone. I like that. I'm starting to see why people search for it. This is the most searched topic worldwide on search engines. ASMR. ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, which is a tingling sensation. It typically starts on the scalp, moves down the neck and spine. That just happened to me. It's often triggered by specific sounds or visual stimuli. Many people find ASMR videos relaxing and use them to help with stress or insomnia. I think I've missed out. You know, I've checked out ASMR before, but I must have heard some that I didn't understand because it didn't impress me. Like now as a creator making videos going through them, I like them. Let's look at some different things. Sounds like background noises for a movie. Some swampy cave with creatures crawling on each other. What about that? Wow. Let's see. I like that. You should put the headphones on. You've got headphones right now. Wow. This may be the reason why it didn't impress me before. I wasn't using headphones. Now that I'm in my studio with my headphones on. Wow. Mm-hmm. What do you know? Let's try a different sound. Let me try a different type of ASMR. I've downloaded several. This is sounds by man who has other objects that he makes his sounds with. Let me show you. Just touching a dollar bill.
And now good old George is a mushroom. Are you still awake or getting drowsier by the moment? Perhaps you are fast asleep. And I'm speaking to your subconscious or unconscious mind.
Should be great insomnia.
It's time for rubber chicken. I know you're probably wondering, Rift, are you going to choke the chicken on camera? That's a very inhumane thing to do, let alone to do it on camera.
No, don't choke.
I know this is an inanimate object, but even still, I do not engage in such violent behavior. I would not choke the chicken any more than I would
It's pretty funny. He's got a sense of humor.
The armadillo. Or the orangutan. With a fish. I am a peaceful bipedal hominid by nature.
Excuse me. All right, let's listen to a different one. So these are inanimate objects. Now watch. This one is eating ASMR. Wait, I should talk more in my ASMR voice. Now we're going to watch. I'm not going to whisper. I'm just going to talk in a soft voice. Now we are going to watch eating videos with ASMR. Here we are. Eating a Burger King feast. Are you ready? This is on Fred's Voice ASMR. To give him a shout out, look up this channel. Fred's Voice ASMR. Right here. Right there. Are you ready? I'm going to start it up.
Hello there, and welcome back to probably, quite possibly, intentionally, one of my favorite types of ASMR videos, and purely because it's exceptionally great for me because I get to combine ASMR, but at the same time eat that for which I hold most dear, and that's junk food, crap food, and it is my Achilles heel. My kryptonite, but it's one of those things where I eventually cave in, and when I do it, then I can't help myself. And today we are presented with a very delicious Burger King. I don't know why we've never gone for the Burger King before.
Let me stop this for a second. If you put on headphones, this is amazing. These ASMR videos are done in stereo. That's why you see his two microphones. It's really nice when the sound is going back and forth from one ear to the other. And I found several of these people that are on the top with ASMR videos. That's what they're doing. They're using two microphones. And now I'm looking at my amp mixer and wondering how I can hook up stereo microphones if I had two mics. How would I do that? I may not go that far unless I actually get a lot of views when I start doing it, and then it would be time to buy some equipment, right? There's another example of that with this woman here. Let me show you. Her name, you may know who she is, but this is Aviva Sophia ASMR. She has 107,000 subscribers. I don't know how long she's been on doing this, but she's very good at it. If you like the female voice whisper, listen to her. Let me turn it up for you.
It's okay. You can let yourself
just try a different spot.
Just let yourself be. Just be. Just let yourself be. You can't change everything. You can't do everything. Don't let expectations that others have put on you, or you have put on yourself, affect your sleep, because your body needs to rest.
She's motivating.
You need to relax,
Okay.
and you will,
Yeah.
because I'm here for you.
Yeah.
You can relax.
I will.
Just send all of your stress,
She's motivating me.
anything, on to me.
I think it helps if you're a beautiful woman
Just take
to do this kind of soft, pleasing ASMR.
the worries.
There are men who do it. I looked them up. I made sure. I thought, wow, if it's only women doing this, there's no way that I would even be able to get into it.
I hope you get some good sleep. And I'll make sure to make the next video a little longer for you. Okay? Have a wonderful night. And I will see you next time.
This video is 2 hours and 34 minutes long, so she's not done yet.
Good night. Good night. Hello. Hello. Welcome back.
See how she's using the 2 microphones?
I wanted to make a nice and slow video for you.
Of course, she knows how to put the eye candy on the video as well.
With
The makeup and the outfit.
sleep instructions.
Again, I'm telling you, put the headphones on.
A fuzzy mic scratching. Because I know it's been a bit since we've done that.
I was looking in the comments,
I love
and some people don't like
slow,
the dual microphones. If you look down here,
but I think
2 hours, how lucky.
it's hard,
Happy.
especially with tapping.
Thank you.
You just want to go so
Sleep.
fast.
They like the tapping and
So I
scratching.
thought we would take today
She cooked me.
some intentionally
Breathing ASMR. The goat.
sleepy.
My life has been awful lately, and easily your channel became one of my favorites. Thank you, Aviva. And then I like this 2 hour stuff. On nights I have no work the
I
following day.
wanted to be
Oh,
comfy today.
I don't change my phone, and I get the freedom
But I had
of
some
putting
other
this
work to
on
do.
and my phone under my pillow, and I
So
listen.
I am a
Should
little
wear
nervous.
headphones, dude. Am I supposed to fall in sleep or fall in love?
It's been a long
Aviva is so
night
talented.
for you. Maybe a long day.
I do like every sound her mouth makes, I can't lie.
Maybe you just
Can't even describe it, but like scratch the itch in my brain. Marry me.
and that's
You're so relaxing, Aviva.
okay.
It was a pleasure tonight to just weave in and out of consciousness, letting the stress break off and be carried away by the waves. Your presence held me in place. Your eyes sent tiredness into the back of my head.
You get to listen.
Thank you, absolutely amazing. Let me find a negative comment. The longer I
Or
can
sit
go,
back.
the more relaxing. Your outfit is fire. You're missing the point, dude. No.
Relax.
We get 2.5 hours of your beauty.
When I can't
Amazing
relax,
stuff. Sleep.
What I
Your
try
voice is
to
perfect.
do
first part.
or envision
Just got off of work.
is turning off.
Thank you, fantastic. So good, the warmest voice of ASMR. Thanks. 3 weeks ago. Best AMRist, in my opinion. I need
I
that
lay
top.
there
It's perfect.
and I
Where's the
imagine
negative comment? Let's see. 'Cause I
turning
got
off
amazing video.
each one of my toes.
I found a couple earlier.
Each
Let's
of
see, you deserve it. Look at this. Incredible. Amazing.
my ankles. And so
I usually switch up between multiple creators every couple of nights until I find one I like.
turning off.
This is my go-to video to fall asleep ever since it came
If
out.
you don't know me, I'm a huge nerd. And I game all the time. So
Best one yet.
we're gonna try doing that to you. So let's
It's going
start.
to be hard to beat this one.
Your
I
toes.
put it on loop, and I pray my earbuds battery lasts
To
all night.
imagine turning each of them off. Like a little
I appreciate you so much. Yep, gonna sleep with this tonight. Wow, amazing. This is amazing. Thanks so much. Thomas Fox, you do it.
And then your right foot.
Whispers, your voice is gentle. Awesome. 2 hours of beautiful voice. Your eyes are so
Just let
mesmerizing.
them feel
Outstanding audio.
a little fuzzy,
Oh my God, this is perfect when I'm at work.
a little.
Would you listen to this at work with headphones on? You know, you see guys working.
And then move
I
on
saw a guy today working at a
to your ankle.
apartment community. One of the maintenance guys had headphones on. Could you imagine if he was listening to this?
And your calves.
This helped me last night get through very high anxiety. Was having trouble getting to sleep because of rails. And kept spinning myself out thinking the worst.
Until your whole lower body is switched off.
Yeah. Wow, spoiling us with 2 hours plus. Excited for this. Thank you. I love the way you did only whisper with only hand movements.
To keep all of your vital organs turned on.
So much for your amazing video.
And your shoulders. Relax them. Roll them out if you have to. Take all of the weight that's on them from your stressful day.
Oh my God, I just went to your Twitter for the first time. The self-awareness of the audience literally had me audibly laugh.
Your neck.
Thanks for a good laugh
Stretch
and a good night. I'll have to check out her Twitter.
once we get to your face.
I don't use Twitter that much. I go to Instagram, but
Relax
appreciate
your face muscles.
you're so
Especially
beautiful.
right between your eyebrow. On
Bruh, your voice is really
furrow
pretty.
your
Take
brow. Relax.
off topic, but wow, that hair is mesmerizing.
Your body feels
Hello from Russia.
easier.
Although I don't understand English very well. But just listening to this masterpiece is
For your brain
wildly
to follow.
enjoyable.
So relax.
This is exactly what the
Relax.
old parasympathetic was itching for.
Relax.
Little pair nicely with a delicious pinot tapping.
Close your eyes.
Little pair nicely. Is he referring to her breasts?
And just lay
With a
there.
delicious pinot
and
tapping
feel
video harvested from the northern region of my
tired
playlist.
Your body is.
Damn. Good job. The way you talk
Turn
reminds
off
me of how
your brain.
Lex Friedman talks on his
Which I know
podcast. Oh, really?
is the hardest
I haven't seen
part.
Lex Friedman in a while.
And if you can't, that's okay.
I think I'm subscribed to him. Where is he?
I just want you to listen
Maybe I didn't.
instead of letting
Honestly, sometimes his videos,
your mind run
I watch others. I won't say anything negative, but I just haven't seen him in a while.
Don't worry.
Sleeping good. Well, I don't know if I like this movie 2 hours.
The video.
Well, I saw a video that once, but when I was preparing this, it said, look, I came for ASMR, not porn ASMR. Let's go back to the top. I had a girlfriend that looked like her in '96. She was a hostess at the Scores nightclub downtown in New York. She was Howard Stern's favorite. And I said, so how do you like Howard? She goes, oh, he's a effing pig. You know, I heard about her on the radio. This girlfriend I had that kind of looks like her. I heard about her. I'm putting some drops in my eyes. Before I met her. And because of her name. And he said her name. She's from South America, but she's lived in the States. She'd lived in the States already for a while, but she was one of those, I guess, as the men say today, smoke show. Absolutely stunning. You know, you could see the pheromones just squirting off of her, and they would douse you. No one could resist. And she liked me. We became friends. And then it got better. Men of ASMR.
Nothing needs to stand in the way of you and your dreams. Let the demons take over and
Truck took off and he needs noise reduction. I've got that same little souvenir from Paris. It's exactly the same one I've got. I was just going to say off topic, when I traveled, I would go to a country and think I would always bring something back from my children. Most of the time it was a t-shirt. Or if I found something really interesting, I would bring them. Like when I went to I was in Venezuela and I was on the Orinoco River and I went to where they had piranhas. And I got some piranhas that were injected with formaldehyde and mounted on these stands like you would put a buck mounted with taxidermy. But these were taxidermied piranhas. The children loved it. And when I went to France and Paris, I got these and a t-shirt. The thing is, when you're traveling on business, you can't buy a painting or a rug or something big, and you might try to have it shipped. I had my sister-in-law, my ex-sister-in-law. She would tell me, you know, I had this wall in my house in the living room that had plaques and all kinds of things from different countries from all over the world. And she just laughed. She goes, you don't have anything big? I mean, come on. Don't you go shopping? Why don't you bring home like a vase or, you know, some statues or a rug and all that? And she was very ignorant of traveling overseas when you're on business. You can't take a day off and just go out shopping. And even if you did, let's say you were in Turkey and you found a rug that you liked and you went to the rug. A lot of people do this. They'll take a day off even if they are on business and they'll buy a rug and then they have to organize to have it shipped back to their home. And it costs a fortune in shipping. And it's very hard in Turkey to get things done if you're an American. Let's just put it that way. To get things done smoothly without hitches or middlemen trying to get in the way to add to the gravy. So it's just really not worth your time. You can't, you're serious. You have appointments and you're trying to make the trip the most efficient as possible so that you're productive. If you're looking for distributors and you're interviewing companies, to take a day off and go shopping because I want a rug, I never did that kind of thing. It was just, I don't know who does that. But let's look at this other one. This man is an older man, and he was found to be one of the GOATs, greatest of all time ASMR storytellers, on accident. And I believe it was this interview. People just love to hear his voice. He's all over YouTube. Don't know his name. You might find it in the comments. This is on Pure Unintentional ASMR, is what it's called. Let me show you. I can find my cursor. There we go. This man here on the right. Let's hear him talk. When he was telling his stories,
you can describe them, and it takes you through to the indescribable, to the unlimited, which is spirit. Now, spirit, what is God? God is spirit. And it's all right here. All these states of consciousness are here. Here are you and I sitting in bodies, talking, and it's all within this context. Whether it's political correctness or what, I don't know, but for some reason the word sin has been largely missed out of modern life. But I'd like to give you a very simple understanding of sin. Now look, if I stand like that and I look at the light, my face is lit, isn't it? I'm in the light. Now if I turn around like that, my face is in shadow. I'm in darkness. And what I see is in shadow, the works of darkness. Now, there is the light and there is darkness. This is the presence of the light, the presence of God, and this is absence. And our human condition is absence. Adam fell from the Garden of Eden, from paradise. He fell in consciousness to a lower state of consciousness, of absence from the presence of God, absence from the presence of God. And this is the human condition. And this is what's called sin. The blind leading the blind, that's why we need education. We turn away from the source of life, so we get ill. And of course, the wages of sin is death. Everything that dies is sin. That's what sin is. Sin is death. Now, real life is what Jesus says, I am the light. He who walks in the light does not walk in darkness, but has the light of life. That's eternal life. That's what man really is. Spirit, enlightenment. He lives in light. He lives with God. He walks with God. And this is absence. And all human shortages, poverty, desire, is because you're trying to make up for what you've lost. And so we're trying to fill ourselves up with other bits of darkness. And of course nothing works. It all has an end. It comes to an end, and then we're disappointed. And so we look for more things, but we're just playing with darkness. And all we've got to do is this. And what is repentance? That's repentance. It's turning back to the light. It's so simple.
But who's turning back to the light?
Well, man has a choice. Now then, in order to be what we...
Let me stop there. Let's go back to the... Let me look at some of the peak. You know how on YouTube you can go to the timeline and you can see the peak flow. Let me hit the peaks. Here's a peak.
And mountains of this world were within me. And that discovery, well, it's been going on ever since. Bigger and bigger, greater and greater, better and better. It was the beginning of realization.
Yes.
Of course, I had the theory. I was brought up in a Christian school. I had 10 years chapel and scripture lessons. I knew a lot of the Bible by heart and the old prayer book. The kingdom of God is within you. I'd learnt that, but what did it mean? I didn't really know. But very soon, in those first few periods of meditation, I realized that there was this dimension that was not of this, or not of what we call this world. There was a further dimension that could be realized. That's the word, realization. You know, the biblical phrase comes alive. The kingdom of God, what's that? It depends what you're focused on.
Here's another peak.
And just before things happened, I had to move on from my first farm. And I was sitting at one side of a field. I'm not sure if I'd been crying, but I was very unhappy about it all, losing my beloved animals. And these rams were lying under a hedge on the other side of the field, about, I suppose, 100 yards or so away. And to my amazement, one of these rams, this old warrior, he stood up, he left the others.
A
Slowly,
ram.
deliberately, he walked across the field. He laid his head in my lap and just stood there for a minute or two or three. Then he turned away and went back and laid that day with his companions. It brings tears to my eyes to tell you. Well, what do you make of that? Oh, well, I had a second farm then. It was a lovely little farm. That's really another story. And I was happy as a farmer. I was married by then and had a good wife. But we had many meditation students at that time used to come to the farm. I was quite well known as one of the first organic farmers. There was a woman that came to meditate. And on one occasion, we meditate with closed eyes, by the way, so we were sitting together. We'd just come to stillness. And I saw our two souls rise from our bodies and merge as one. She was a woman with very open, clear eyes. And when I looked at her, I saw right through to the infinite beyond. Well, you've got to realize there are two sorts of sight. There's the eyes of flesh, and there's what's called insight, seeing with the eyes of the heart. Insight is always limited. I mean, fleshly sight is always limited. It has a boundary. Flesh sees flesh. But we all have, to some extent, a sense of even indescribable beauty, or indescribable.
You know, talking about ASMR, this man not only has a nice voice and the way he talks is nice, the way he presents, but the topics that he's talking about and the stories he's telling are beautiful. And he's you can just tell, he's a very nice man who's an old farmer who is into meditation and consciousness and natural farming. He's a good-spirited man. with his age, with a lot of advice, and a good voice. So that's where I'm trying to get. I'm getting into the older part. I'm 61 now. And you might have thought I was older. But I'm getting to the point where I would like to start telling stories. So that's why I started Stories and Prayerr, because I want to tell stories from my life. Stories of the family, stories of travel. A lot of them are travel stories or experiences in my life. Okay, on this guy, here's another peek.
I was that desperate. I knew that's what I wanted. I didn't want anything else. And so I, as it were, jumped off the precipice to him. And while I was in America, after I'd been with him a few days, I remember there was a big meeting, and he looked at me, and he pointed out my pride, my arrogance, and my egoism, which was completely crushed me. I was exposed in this room of, I suppose, a couple of hundred people. And I felt within me a monstrous, almost like a worm. And I didn't know what to do with it at all. I was absolutely terrified. And I fled. Where did I flee to? I fled into the wilderness. I got a car and I just drove into the desert. And I thought I was going mad at that time. I had this such a sense of evil within me. I didn't know how to deal with it at all. I meditated, but somehow even meditation didn't deal with it. And fearing I was really going to lose my wits, I took a job as a cook in a funny little motel gas station, and I worked in the kitchen there, frying eggs and things. Do you want me to go on? And
yes, please.
This was in the Mojave Desert, which is just on the border of Arizona.
I said Nevada.
Surrounded by desert country. One day, after work, I walked up the side of the valley. There was this little motel, was a little spot down at the bottom of the valley. I sat on a rock, and I think I put my head in my hands, and I think I just was finished then. And someone came and stood beside me. I didn't see anybody, I didn't hear anybody. No man was involved at all. But I felt there was a presence beside me. And I said, I suppose it was Jesus. I've never doubted it. It was nothing to do with the church, nothing to do with religion at all. And I didn't really.
You know, I like that, if I may point out. When people have their best spiritual, godly experiences, and they feel the presence of the Lord, you know it when you feel it. Or some people may see him, and you recognize him when you see him, and you know that he knows you, and you are always watched and loved, and he knows everything that you're going through. And I found that out in my life, and I'm relating to his story, because as far as religion goes, I got to a point in my life where personally, maybe some people do go to church and they like every Sunday, they get the charge of going to the congregation and hearing the pastor, or the preacher, or the bishop, or the priest, or whoever's speaking, and then you come home. And I did this for a long time in the Mormon church, and you spend your Sunday doing all the tasks and the meetings, and then that charges you spiritually for the week, and then you go back to the grind of the week. But then as I got older, I stopped going. And I did not let the guilt of the blame that the church, they take attendance and people will judge you. And when you come back after a long absence, they say, "Oh, we've missed you so much. We're so glad that you're back." But I kind of took that as judging me when people would say things like that, and I did not like it. But I've discovered what he's saying. In those quiet moments is when you find the Lord, and there's a direct connection between you and the Lord. So why would you need a religion to tell you? There are so many. They can't be all true. There cannot be one religion on earth that is just solidly it. The deeper you dive into all of them, every one, and I have, you will find holes like Swiss cheese, and you'll find, this is personal, you may not agree with me, but in my life, I just found that I want to shed off religions and pastors or people that come between me and this direct connection with God. Once you establish it and you feel it like this man has, which it seems like he has. He's not mentioning any particular religion either. And he's talking about feeling the direct presence of the Lord with him, sitting on a rock in Nevada near Arizona. These beautiful moments. These are the type of stories I would like to tell, in fact, on my channel when I get to my stories. I'm new. This is only episode 23. And to talk a little bit about what I've been doing on this channel. It's an evolving process. It morphs. There's a morphology as you move along. And I had to buy a new laptop to handle what I'm doing with the equipment and the videos and the processing power needed. And I'm running 2 computers. I have my desktop in front of me, and then I have my MacBook Air that I use with the camera there. I do have another desktop camera on my other computer, which I may learn how to switch as I get a mixer that can switch cameras. And then I'll have a camera on my other monitor. So I'll have a monitor over here and a monitor over there. And I might start switching it. And then I might get 2 microphones. But it's a process as I learn what topics to talk about and as I learn how to speak into the microphone. I've already learned not to go. I found a comedian today that, what's her name? Mariana. And I noticed she did what I was doing. I would end a sentence and go, or when I start, I go, I drove my car and then I parked it. Then I got out. And then I went into the house. And I told the person, I'd make that separating of the lips sound. And I don't know if I've been doing that my whole life, but I've already learned when I played back my own videos, I'm smacking my lips too much. And I've noticed I've already stopped. It's become, you have to practice. And as you do it, you get better. I'm only on episode 23. I've improved my equipment. I've got a better computer. I've got better positioning. I'm learning. Right now, I've got the background where I'm on the ISS. I hope you like it. I can change other backgrounds. If you look at where I'm actually at, let me show you. I'm just in the corner of my study with the background. Let's see the camera. Let me turn off the background. There you go. Hi. I'm just in the corner of my room, and I have the amber light behind me. Whenever you video, you're always supposed to have a light behind you. That you have a light in front of you. A lot of people use those Ring cameras. The Ring lights. I don't like that because you can see the light, the rings on the glasses. and they reflect a lot. So I got these ones that, like the light that I'm using in front of me, it's a bright white light, but it has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 12 by 6 dots of lights. It's just a bunch of little white lights. And it gives a better spreading of the light, I think. Actually, it doesn't look bad in the corner of my room right now, the way it's lit. Comment if you're in there and tell me if you like the background or if you like it better when I'm on the ISS or any other. I could start using different backgrounds each time I do a video, make it interesting. But as a default, I like to use the ISS because a lot of times I will do videos. See, I just smacked my lips because I will do videos on astronomy and astrotheology, and I will talk about, are there people on the ISS, or are they really in a 3-wall set on the ground on Earth? Because there are videos you can watch where people are actually in a studio set, these astronauts, and they fade out, and there are production errors, and sometimes you can see through their bodies as they go around a corner. Or like right now, you see how the microphone will appear if I move a certain way, and then it disappears. If I move my hand, see how it just disappeared? You'll see that type of problem sometimes if you look carefully whenever, like if you watch astronauts when they're on the news or whatever, just tape that, record it, and watch it back and start looking for errors in their production. And sometimes you can see wires, you can see knee pads, you can see harnesses, you can see right through the people where they're using 2 cameras. One time I saw an astronaut, he was talking to another one, and he went like this, and he reached out like this, and he was grabbing something, and he put it down, and he kept talking, and then they flipped the microphone around and they let it float, and then they grab it and they talk. And his hand was empty. I think they use some kind of screen where they can see where there's a ball floating in front of them, and they reach out. Some people said they have electronic contact lenses. I don't know how they do that, but somehow there are these advanced lenses where you can see the CGI through your lenses that you're supposed to be seeing a ball. So when he reached out and went like this and put it on the shelf, you can replay that. His hand's empty. He didn't grab anything. There was nothing out there. Or there are times when there will be an astronaut and he's saying like say this bottle is the microphone, and he'll be talking, and the microphone, just like this microphone in front of me, how it appears like I did, it's not doing it now. There you go. It's hard. I don't know how to make it appear, but there you go. But when he did it, the microphone went right through his neck, and the head of the microphone was sticking out the other side of his neck. So you can't deny that they're doing CGI. I'm off the topic, but let's talk about this for a second, because I like this subject too. This is why I was telling you I have the ISS as my background, because I honestly believe there's no one in it. You can look up in the sky. If you go on NASA's website, you can find the schedule of when the ISS will be over your town, and it will tell you, like on Thursday between 4:28 and 4:35 p.m. If you look up, you will see the ISS go over. And I've done it, and I saw something. There was a shimmering silvery thing that was going across the sky, and it worked. And that's the fascinating part, because there are thousands of videos of people picking apart the CGI mistakes on the ISS, where the astronauts are obviously filming in a set. So if they're really in there, almost 300 miles above Earth, why are they doing so much CGI and fakery? You know, sometimes they use, one time I saw, like they were using, like on a Nickelodeon, cartoon, they'll have like an effect where there's like a genie coming and go jeep, and they have like a little starlight, and suddenly there will appear a Beanie Baby, and the astronaut will grab it and play with it and then throw it. So they show you that they're using CGI. So why not everything be CGI? And that's personal belief, because if you've seen the videos that I've seen, just look up puppets on a string, or what is it called? Puppets in space and on the moon. Moon landing deniers. There are a lot out there. But where is, let me see, YouTube. This woman here, Christina Mariani. She'll do the, watch when she talks.
So you're full Italian.
Yeah.
And your mom is an Italian lady?
My
Little
mom,
Italian lady?
Yeah, she doesn't even speak English, really. Italian's my first language.
Shut up.
I swear to God, I moved here from Italy when I was
up.
11. Yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah, well, I was born here, and then I moved to Italy, and then moved back. And so...
Well, she's not doing it now. She's being interviewed. But when she does her comedy... Here you go.
You were discovered by Red Band here, and you've been doing a lot of spots on literally almost every single one of the Thursday shows. Red Band books you and puts you on in the middle of the lineup right before him, and then follows you with some creepy joke that never works. What is it again? She escaped the kidnapping or something? It's horrible. Christina.
I'm his babysitter.
So, are there other things that you've done while getting blacked out drunk that are embarrassing?
Well, I'm blacked out, right? So I don't know.
Right now, Red Band is already starting to make the drink he's going to give you on Thursday.
I would love to have you babysit my girlfriend tonight in Pflugerville.
You were
I noticed when she was doing some, where is it? Those shorts don't have it, darn it. But when
there's a guy who asked me out, and I thought he was pretty hot. And then, I looked at his Instagram, and he beatboxes.
Oh. People still do that?
I guess so.
Did you see
I feel
that?
With AI, you don't really need to do that anymore.
Yeah, or,
She did it again.
I don't know. It's just, and
She
I
did it
don't want to,
again.
shit on people for their
Did it again.
passions.
Did it again.
Because it's like, where do you get a lot of satisfaction? But I just feel like if you beatbox, you're not beating box. What do you mean?
Was he good at it?
There's a guy who asked me out, and I thought he was pretty
She's
hot.
funny.
And then
She's funny here in Austin. I'm in Austin. I've gone to the Mothership and signed up for comedy. I haven't seen her. I just did the smacking sound. She will sign up a lot in Red Band over at the Sunset Strip. I'm going to have to go in there. They have open mics. I like to do open mics. Back to ASMR. Did I show you this guy? Yeah, I did with the Eiffel Tower. We looked at her. Oh, this man. Watch this.
So let us begin, Brian. Be mine. Just first off, just going to brush around your neck there. There we go.
He's giving you a haircut for his ASMR.
Just a nice, gentle comb here for you, just so we can smart it up just a little bit. At least it'll make you feel a little bit nicer as we go on. Yeah. Okay, so already just a little bit of a use of a proper barbershop hairbrush. We've done an amazing transformation there already. Right, I think you're ready for a gown.
Oh, there's a low bass sound that just went really strong there.
This
If you have
device.
headphones.
Or maybe this one. I'll tell you what, I think the other one.
there again.
This is one of our finest barbershop gowns, so please try not to ruin it. Over we go. There we go.
He's giving the dead cat a haircut. That's what they call those covers on a microphone, a dead cat. I might put a dead cat on this microphone. I guess that one goes over your face. No, that's the neck wrap to keep the hair and tools off of your skin so they don't nick you. Wow, that's heavy ASMR sound.
Right, so the first thing I'm going to do here for you is wet your hair. We're going to finger style it.
Everything's cool about hearing the barbershop sounds, but when he started whispering, that kind of freaked me out. If your barber started whispering like that after getting you ready, that would be a little creepy. But if it's ASMR, you can understand it. Let's see what he does later on, and let me find a peak. Here's a peak of traffic right here.
Etiquette I'm used to all of my customers because they're, ladies, gentlemen, lords, etc., people with a lot of they tend to be rather complimentary for what I've done for them. We are, of course, a luxurious barbershop. I'm so
Boy, that dead cat looks good now.
It really does.
I think he parted the hair down the middle.
Offering a little bit of charity to our local area, and I think we've certainly done that with this beautiful masterpiece of a haircut that we've just given you. So I'm so glad you love it. But unfortunately, it doesn't suit your beard there at the moment. And we're just going to have a little shave off there. It's not too much of a beard. I know it's a little bit of stubble, but to me that's a beard, and it needs taken off. So eyes are drawn to this perfect hair up top. Okay, excellent. So first of all, let's remove all of that stubble there. We don't want any of that there. This is so we get a really nice smooth shave here for you. Okay, there we go, just above your lip there. You just close your lip a little bit, perfect. You don't need to move it too much. A skilled barber can work his way around the face. Okay, that's very good. Move the cheekbones there, the cheek there, excellent. Why do you ask? Well, a skilled barber always uses two instruments when he's given a shave or cut an haircut. He can use multiple tools at once. Okay.
I just thought of a hilarious story I'm going to tell you. Okay. I've been on here for an hour and 18 minutes, 16 minutes, so why don't I tell you a story that I just thought of, and then I will end, and we'll have a prayer at the end, and I will try to tell the story in a soft voice. All right. When I was a young man, I think I was about 10 years old. 11 years old. I think I was only 10. Let's say 10 to 11 years old. I went with my father to get a haircut. This was in Houston, Texas, in the north. We lived in Cypress. And we went down to, it was somewhere around, if you know the highways in the Houston area, on the far north, there's the Highway 1960, the Champions area. And there's a mall, which I hear now, back in the 80s when I was going to high school in that area, it was new. But I just heard on the news the other day that someone, I think it was in a comedy sketch, they were talking about, yeah, like that mall. I think it's called Willowbrook. Yeah, Willowbrook Mall. I think all shopping malls are suffering. They're half empty, you know, because of Amazon and Temu and other things. But it was a barber shop in that area. And it was the old-fashioned pop shop barber. And he was an old man. He was about the age of the old man that was telling the stories. And this man. And I got in there. And I liked when you walk in the barber shop and you see the big chairs. As a kid, you want to sit in the chair. The chair looks fascinating. And so first I went with my dad and we drove the car, and my father was an engineer and he had worked for the military. He worked at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base when I was a little kid, and he worked for a company out of Dayton, Ohio that made special equipment that read vibrations. And he could read oscilloscopes and balance motors and engines and put machinery in unison with each other so that they did not make noise, and they ran smoother and they produced more output, more horsepower. And he actually had, his job at that time was he contracted with ships going in and out of the harbor, the oil tankers, and he would balance the giant motors that ran the propellers on these tankers, because they would crack the hulls of the ships if they had these machines that were out of balance. And that's how he made his money. He eventually wound up working at NASA, at Mission Control. They had a problem where they had bought an uninterrupted power supply with a giant, like a Caterpillar motor with like 18-cylinder diesel and giant monstrosity engine with the generator on it that would power the entire building 31, which is the old Mission Control. And when they bought it, they built a cement slab and bolted it to the ground. And the first time they started it up, they started it and it ran. I'm sorry, I'm making a smacking noise. When they started the generator for the power supply, what had happened before that was they would lose track of rockets and the first shuttle missions and the ones that flew around the moon before they actually, I think, built the space station. If the power went out for Houston Lighting and Power, they were reliant on the city's power supply. And at that time, they didn't have a backup. It's common now for companies like, say, ice cream, like an ice cream company. They can't go without power. They have to have what's called an uninterrupted power supply. So when the power goes out, the generator kicks on. And that became his specialty. I wonder where my father learned about putting giant magnets on engines in different places and reading oscilloscopes and sine waves to find out how to balance the motor with small putty, like silver sticky stuff that he would put on the flywheels just in various spots. And it didn't have to bolt on anything. He would just put the smallest amount of these. It was kind of like JB Weld, if you're a mechanic and you've used JB Weld. And he would put it, you know how you balance a tire and you see those weights that they clip into your rim where the bead of your tire is? Basically doing that, but with these giant diesel monstrosities, like the ones that would run the ships with the oil tankers. But the first time NASA turned on their generator that they'd bought, it was so off balance that it vibrated on the foundation and ripped the bolts out of the cement, and it hopped off of the platform that they'd built, and it fell into the mud, grassy mud, and it got stuck, and they couldn't even get it out. They had to bring in a giant crane to pull the motor out of the mud because the iron structure with legs that they'd built to put it on just kind of squished down into the mud and disappeared. So somebody said, hey, I know this man that is a vibration expert, and he knows how to balance these giant engines and make them where they're quieter and the bearings last longer and they don't make noise and they don't have vibration. He's magical. Try him out. So he got a phone call. So they brought him over and they contracted him to fix the uninterrupted power supply for mission control. And then they offered him a job and he stayed there. So my father worked there. Gosh, it must have been, he started working there in the early 80s, I believe it was, until 2004 maybe. And 27 years, I believe he was at NASA. But he ran, like when Tom Hanks went to do the Apollo 13 movie, he went to NASA. And he went through mission control, and he went to my father's office to get a badge to go into the building. My father was in charge of all of the equipment in the building. And they had a preventative maintenance program so that they would change parts whether they were broken or not. They would say, okay, these cables on these computers with the monitors upstairs with the computers downstairs in the basement are changed this week. So this week we're just working on updating all of the Ethernet cables on this set of computers in the system. And it was fascinating, even all the way to the HVAC, heating, ventilation and air conditioning, and even anything, all the way to the security system. So that when Tom Hanks came in there, he had to go to my father. He was in charge of the badges to be in the building. That was he was so happy about that. Celebrity came to his office. So my dad, on the weekend, I think it was a Saturday morning, took me to the barber. And we went in this old barber shop on the side of the highway. It was not in the mall. It was just in a little strip mall. A little narrow barber space, and I sat in the chair. And I looked in the mirror. I think this was my very first official barber shop trip. My mother had always cut my hair. And I was fascinated watching the barber, how all of the products and how he put the drape on me like this man just did, and the ribbon around my neck, and how he had the scissors and the comb and started to cut my hair and ask me questions. And so, how are you doing, boy? How is school? Do you like school? The typical questions that a barber might ask a young man sitting in the barber chair. And he trimmed the back of my head, and I learned how to put my head down, and I learned when he was trimming my bangs, I had a lot of anxiety. That's what scared me. It scares a lot of kids. When you start cutting bangs and the hair falls on the nose and it tangles and it itches, you want to get it off my face. Do you remember that? And I was having that. I can remember I would hold my breath when he would cut the bangs. And then when he finished, I was watching him in the mirror the whole time, and behind him, he had all of his products and his tools. You know, he had the scissors and the razors, and you could see the bottles with the blue liquid where they put the combs in it with the barbicide that kills the bacteria. And he had cans of aerosols there. He had different types of spray cans. And he reached back and he grabbed a can of Raid roach spray. And he turned around, aimed it at my head, and started spraying my head. And I went like this. And my father said, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Oh my gosh, what am I?" He put it back down. He goes, "Come over here, come down." He took me over to the sink and washed my head and started over. But the barber accidentally confused the hairspray with a can of Raid for the cockroaches. And sprayed I'm going to have to add that to my stand-up joke list, that little story. I hope you liked it. That was funny. I just forgot about that whole incident for decades until I just watched that ASMR haircut. I wonder if he could do that, do the ASMR here. Now I'm spraying your head with a can of Raid so that you won't have cockroaches attacking your head. They will stay away from you now. But can you imagine that? I remember looking in the mirror, and I'm watching this guy do my haircut, and I'm looking, and I lean forward, and I'm like, what is he doing? And I didn't stop him. I didn't know what he was. I thought he was going to turn around and spray a cockroach, and he just put it up and aimed it at my head and started spraying my head with a can of Raid. My father and we laughed about that on the way home, and my dad was just like, wow. I think he was an old man. You know, he's probably my age. I'm kidding. I mean, he looked older. I mean, he was an old guy, but with so many years of cutting hair, how he could make the mistake of grabbing a roach spray instead of his hairspray, I don't know what he did. He must have just sprayed a bunch of roaches before we came. Put the can right where he must have, by instinct, put the Raid can. It maybe felt like his hairspray can, so he automatically just kind of put it right next to the hairspray can. But tell me if you've ever had the barber spray Raid on your head while you're getting a haircut. All right. So let's end this. Let's have a prayer now. I have not seen any participants so far. I don't know what's happening on the algorithm if I'm not getting any views, but I tried making a better thumbnail this time because now I've got Adobe Express and I will be doing a better job. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity that we have to come together in a video format where I can share stories and bring up topics, and people can watch and relate if they like to watch it. That's awesome. But bless all of those people out there, especially those who have watched to the end here, and bless them with their needs and whatever they're anxious and worried about, that they can find calmness. And maybe this video has given them some ideas of how to relax, how to meditate, and how to find some ways maybe to get sleep and get the proper rest with the turmoil in the world right now, with the wars and the politics and the billionaire criminals and their exposition of everything they've been doing. The world is finding out, Father, and wouldn't it be great if we could all wake up on earth and shed off these controlling powers of Lucifer on earth? And this I pray in the name of the Son Amen. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Stories and Prayerr is my first one in this format. Have not seen a participant yet, but we'll keep plowing along. Bye.